You know, if you're that bored, you could help. I could, but you're not going to. You guessed it. I think it's funner to watch you do it. I doubt it. Well, I doubt you ever have fun in the first place. I have fun. Oh, really? How? I waved one of the books in front of his face. You see this thing? It's called a book. Some people have fun by actually reading them instead of hiding them in strange places to make more work for other people. What kinds? What kinds? Huh? You like books. That's what you were saying when you were mocking me, right? So my question is, what type of books do you like? Well, I like all of them. I turned back towards the shelf and shelved one of the books before heading to the next shelf over. That's not a real answer, you know. Yes, it is. You have to have some sort of preference. I didn't really have the luxury of having a preference before I came here. I was kind of stuck with whatever our neighbors decided they didn't want anymore, so I learned to appreciate whatever I got. All books have something interesting about them. I don't know about that. I've read some pretty awful ones. Still, you have to have some sort of preference. You can't just tell me that if I offered a choice between two books of different genres, you just pick randomly. Well, I guess I'd pick just about anything over romance novels. Over romance novels? Really, that's the genre you'd exclude? Even over things like books on law? At least books on law are useful. Oh, Marcel. Marcel, you're killing me here. Oh, stab right through the heart. Romance novels are ludicrous drivel that, while possibly providing some small sense of entertainment, give people unrealistic ideas about relationships. That was totally on purpose. This game is totally making fun of itself. I love it. Let me guess, you were jilted by a previous lover and have never quite gotten over it. No. I'm right then? He smiled smugly. No, you're not. I've never been in a romantic relationship with anyone. He gives me a pitying look. Then I was right before. You really don't know how to have fun. You're the one who is bored. Anyway, I'd appreciate it if you let me get to work. I should have had this done by now. I expect him to ignore my requests and keep talking, but he actually listens and I'm able to put away the books. When I shelve the last book, a thought occurs to me. Eloy has been placing books all around the mansion. If he had even a small inkling of common sense, he would have known that one of Lord Sandor's servants would have eventually been put in charge of returning them. And if he knew that then, why did he pick the library for his little tryst with the servant girl? Unless he wanted to be caught. But why would he want to be caught? I steal a glance his way and try to think it through. I think you're overanalyzing this a little bit, Marcel, but okay. He wanted to see what someone would do if they caught him in that situation. Gimmicks like this are how he entertains himself. That is the conclusion I came up with. I think that is true, actually. And if that's the truth behind his actions, I hate him. That was a fun scene. That was really enjoyable. That was very, very enjoyable. Alright, I need to start pumping up my other skills. I kind of assumed that Lord Chiron would eventually get bored and stop following me around, but unfortunately for me, he's proven to be more persistent than I'd previously imagined. Sure, he leaves me alone every once in a while when something else comes up, but more often than not, he's tailing me like a baby duck, except he's not cute, so it's annoying rather than endearing. Although I do have to admit that outfit's actually pretty awesome. Still, if he's busy chasing me around, I think that outfit would look way more awesome on Kamal, but... Still, if he's busy chasing me around at the place, he's not bothering anyone else. I guess if nothing else, I can consider that positive. I let out a small sigh. I just have to deal with it. You've been sighing a lot. Whose fault do you think that is? Ah, a longing sigh, then. I do get that a lot. You know, that's not what I meant. And just like that, he's gotten me flustered, which, of course, is exactly what he wants. Reminding myself of that, I'm able to calm down a bit. But that calm only lasts for about a second before Lord Chiron goes and ruins it. You know, it's not as hopeless as you might think. I like men just as much as I like women. What? Lord Chiron chuckles. I'm saying that I find you attractive. He's hitting on me? No, that's not right. It's not a question. He's hitting on me. He's actually hitting on me. Me, of all people. I blush brightly and I try to come up with some kind of response. Something that isn't easy when your brain outright refuses to acknowledge the situation. It's too absurd. I mean, I thought I made it pretty clear that I sort of despise him. For him to think that flirting with me is something I'd be alright with is insane. I'm not proud of it, but it takes me another minute to figure out that Lord Chiron is probably only saying it to tease me. He wants me to get flustered or angry, or whatever else, as long as it promises to be amusing. I cross my arms, considering I could yell at him. I kind of want to, but again, I think that is one of the reactions he's looking for. It might be better to play his game. Maybe I can turn this around on him. The more I consider this option, the more I realize I do want to give it a try. If I can turn this around and make him feel awkward, I'd consider this a victory. I close my eyes and focus for a second. It's been a while since I've had to act, but I'm not terrible at it. It is a skill I've relied on in the past. Granted, I've never used it for something quite like this, but I don't think it'd be particularly hard to play the part. You don't mean it. You just say those things to mess with people, and I'm not. I'm not attractive, so you have to be lying. Lord Chiron strokes his chin, taking a moment to consider his reaction. I think Marcel's actually pretty darn cute. Of course, he's a ginger, so I'm partial. I have to be careful not to be too out of character, or he'll notice something is off. I straighten up and look at him directly once more, eliminating that brief moment of faked vulnerability before Lord Chiron has enough time to figure out my gambit. You shouldn't say things that you don't mean. You'll give people the wrong idea. Or maybe I'll give them the right one. Knock it off, it's not funny. You're actually not entirely opposed to the idea, are you? I never said that. You didn't have to. He grins smugly as if he won some great victory. Of course, I'm still leading him on. I'm not sure what I hope to achieve with this, but I feel like an opportunity to get back at him will present itself if I keep going. I turn away from Lord Chiron, pretending to be embarrassed. Look, it'll never happen. I admit that you are. I take a deep breath to emphasize the difficulty of the upcoming revelation. Well, physically appealing. Not my type, though. And I admit that I'm a bit fascinated with the fact that you're an elf. And maybe, just maybe, I don't have any issues with you being a male. I take a deep breath and turn back towards him, a sharper tone to my voice than before. However, your personality is absolutely horrid. And realistically, that is enough for me to close the book on that. And that's a problem? Heck yes. I take a step back. It is. I fumble the words that he'll think I'm not adamant about them as I claim to be. I want him to pursue this. If he doesn't, I lost my chance to teach him a lesson about toying with people's feelings. Lord Chiron falls for it, taking a step forward and placing a hand on the wall behind me. His face is mere inches away from mine, and for the first time, I start to wonder if I really should be doing this. You know what I think? I didn't ask. I think that you don't really care if I had a bad personality or not. Actually, yeah, no, I definitely do care if you have a bad personality. I think you're just curious enough to go along with whatever I might try with you. That's really, really sexual harassment right there. No means no, Eloy. Before I can finish, he reaches for my cheek with his free hand and gently runs his fingertips along my skin. This is where I should mock him and tell him that he's too full of himself. This is where I should tell him that I was just teasing him the way he teased that girl. But I don't. Instead, I freeze in place. It was a stupid oversight, but I never expected him to touch me. And that is something I'm not sure how to react to. If he'd said something, I'm confident I could have thought of some kind of response, no matter where he chose to take it. But this, I'm out of my depth on this. Oh no, his spell would not be coming over me right now. His personality, no. You've gotten zero charm for me if your personality is the way it is. Lord Chiron's face comes closer than ever, and I register that I have to do something now, or let him have his way. I react instinctively and shove him away, perhaps a bit more violently than necessary. How dare you? Lord Chiron scratches the back of his neck, looking a bit confused. Sorry? I'm not exactly sure what I did wrong, though. Maybe you came on to me after, what I was telling you was not to do that? You were going to kiss me. And that's bad? Yes! Sexual harassment! And I don't have to take it anymore. I didn't exactly get that impression earlier. Oh yeah, that's what a lot of the sexual harassers say. That's because... I don't want to say it now, but if I don't, he might really get the impression that he has a chance to seduce me. Seduce me? I glare at him and say the words I should have said earlier. I was trying to teach you a lesson. A lesson? About playing with people's feelings. You were leading me on? Well, yes. Lord Chiron strokes his chin thoughtfully. I'm a bit ashamed of myself. I didn't notice at all. You don't look like it, but you're actually pretty crafty. Instead of looking angry, he looks excited. Oh, great, now he finds this as a challenge. Like a kid that's just found an interesting new toy. This is, which again, is like sexual harassment behavior right there. This is definitely not the reaction I had in mind. But you messed up in the end, huh? You froze up when I touched you. I bite my bottom lip and stare at the ground, a bit embarrassed. Still, I do go ahead and admit it. I kind of wish that I had the option to smack him, just like you did in Seduce Me, speaking of Seduce Me. But no, they had me freeze, and I'm like, no, my character really shouldn't have frozen there. My character would have, like, smacked him across the face at that point. I bite my left ground and a bit embarrassed. And yes, you really aren't good with romantic situations, are you? No. If I'd actually kissed you, would that have been your first kiss? Yeah, and I would not have wanted the first kiss to be with him. I cross my arms and look at him defiantly. The answer is yes, but there's no way I'm letting him make me feel ashamed about that. So? Wow. I regret not being a little faster. I would have hit you. You should have. It would have been worth it. Actually, all of this just makes me want to mess with you even more. You shouldn't just force somebody's first kiss like that. I blush brightly. He can't be serious. You're the worst. Lord Chiron chuckles and takes a step towards me. I don't think it's meant to be an aggressive move, but I'm a bit jumpy after what almost happened. I automatically take a quick step backwards. This is very uncomfortable, you guys. When I do, I bump into a table behind me with a considerable amount of force and knock over a vase. My eyes go wide as it hits the ground and breaks into several pieces. Hey. This day could not come any worse. Well, this isn't good. That was Lord Sander's favorite vase. Okay, this is your fault. This is your fault. My fault? Yes, your fault. If you didn't act so weird earlier, I wouldn't have bumped into the table. If you're going to play that game, I'm going to argue that if you hadn't tried to lead me on, I wouldn't have acted so weird earlier. See, that was the other thing. I did not want to just lead him on. I just wanted to blow him off and turn around. That is a perfectly legitimate argument as far as I'm concerned. In the end, you're the one who hit the table, and thus you're the one that destroyed one of Lord Sander's most valued possessions. But if you want to argue your case to Lord Sander, by all means go ahead. Ugh, he knows I wouldn't get anywhere with Lord Sandor. And even though I really want to blame him for this, I can't exactly claim to be completely guiltless. How much does the vase cost exactly? A lot. You'd have to spend several years working here to pay it off. I knew it. What am I supposed to do in this situation? I still don't think it's my fault. But it's supposed to be cruel of me not to help out. Oh, you'll help me? Why do I feel like the situation has suddenly gotten worse? For a price. That would be it. What do you want? Your first No. So cold. Deal with it. Fine, fine. I guess I didn't really expect that to work anyway. Instead, on your next day off, I want you to become my personal servant for the day. Do whatever I say and I'll pay for the vase myself. You won't make any outrageous requests? I'll behave. Kind of don't see how that's any different than what I'm doing. I do admit that is fair, as long as he doesn't make any outrageous requests or demands. Unless maybe he asks me to be nice to him or something. Whatever, I don't really have much of a choice if I want to pay for that vase. I guess I'll go along with this for now. If he asks something of me that I'm not willing to do, well, I can refuse to do it then. I take a deep breath and then open my mouth to agree to his terms when I hear Vincent's voice from behind me. The vase broke? Yes, I'm sorry. I accidentally hit the table and, well, I see. Well, mistakes happen. Just try to be more careful next time. I wait for Vincent to say more, but he doesn't. There has to be some mistake. That's all you're going to say about it? You expected something different? I thought, I'm not in trouble? No, it might have been a problem if it was a different vase, but Lord Sander doesn't actually care what happens to this one. For one thing, it's a fake. For another, he got it from a relative he doesn't particularly care for. And to top it all off, Lord Sander simply doesn't like the design. I cross my arms, trying to keep a level head as my anger at a certain someone starts to rise. So you're telling me that vase is completely worthless? Oh, Eloy tricked me? Oh no, he and I are not okay. We are not okay. I would not have put it so harshly, but yes. I glare at Lord Chiron, willing him to drop dead on the spot. Lord Chiron responds with a careless shrug. I must have been thinking of a different vase. Anyway, everything is alright now, so I'll go ahead and take my leave. Lord Chiron does exactly as he says, which is probably a good thing, because the sooner he gets out of sight, the sooner I can start calming down. Much to my surprise, as soon as Lord Chiron is out of sight, Vincent's face suddenly looks more sour than mine. So wait, does that mean I don't have to now work for him for a day? Because that'd be wonderful. Marcel, did Lord Chiron tell you that the vase was very important to Lord Sandor and that there was no way he'd be able to afford to pay for it? That's exactly what he said. I see. Vincent lets out a sigh and crosses his arms. He gets rid of his irritated expression, but I can tell the emotion is still there. He pulled that trick on me when I first met him. Did he come on to you too, Vincent? Gosh, this guy's really not. He needs to keep his hands to himself. I guess that more than explains why Vincent dislikes him. Knowing Vincent, he was probably roped into obeying Lord Chiron's commands. I'm really lucky Vincent came by when he did. I can give Vincent a hug right now. I'd like to talk to Lord Sandor about it, but it wouldn't make a difference. Lord Chiron just does whatever he wants. Be careful, alright? It's dangerous to take that man seriously. If I had a choice, I would just ignore Lord Chiron entirely, because he's just bad news right now. We would not be getting along. And we haven't been. Vincent turns to go. I nearly let him, but I just have to ask. Vincent, when he pulled that trick with you, did he make advances? Advances? Yeah, like did he try to kiss you? I'm going to have a talk with Lord Sandor right now. This behavior is unacceptable, even for Lord Chiron. He didn't even say yes or no. Vincent storms off, leaving me behind. I guess I can take that as a no. Alright, we need to get some more skills. So we're gonna do... We're gonna do write letters. We're gonna attend guests for awareness. We're gonna clean rooms for tidiness. Write letters, attend a guest, clean rooms, and we'll do clean rooms twice. Write letters, attend guests, clean rooms, write letters, attend guests, clean rooms, because I need it to be like clean. So let's try to spread out. We've got a lot of strength, which helped us out, you know, with the whole our reputation is back to 0. Okay, you know what? We need to start getting this going. Tidiness is up by 1, etiquette is up by 2, awareness is up by 1. I pat one of the sheets hanging from a clothesline I set up outside a few hours earlier. It seems dry enough to me, so I pull it down and then fold it. I do the same with the rest of them until the clothesline has been completely cleared. That done, the next step is to take them up to the guest rooms and switch out the old sheets. It's kind of a shame, really. Today's a perfect day to spend outside. Well, I got a job to do, so that isn't an option. I pick up the pile of sheets and head inside the mansion from the garden entrance. It would have been faster from the main entrance, of course, but the less servant work our guests see, the better, according to Vincent. Of course, I still need to use the staircase in the main hall to reach the guest room, so I don't really see much point to it. Rules are rules, I guess. When I reach the main hall, I see Borges and Vincent talking at the base of the stairs. I didn't think that Borges had an appointment with Lord Sandor today, so it seems a bit odd. I need details, Vincent. How am I supposed to make any progress if you and Lord Sandor keep me in the dark? Borges is using a sharp tone that I'm not used to hearing from him. He's still remaining civil, but only just. I get the feeling this is a conversation I really shouldn't interrupt. I hang back in the hallway, trying not to listen in on them. They're not exactly trying to be quiet, though. I've already made my apologies. It was a mistake, and that is all there is to it. Lord Sandor's agreed to pay you for the time I've wasted asking you to come here. I don't care about that. I just want you to stop lying to my face about what is happening with Lord Sandor. He is dying, Vincent. I understand wanting to obey your employer's orders, but this is ridiculous. Vincent averts his eyes from Borges, giving me the impression that he's uncomfortable. It is Lord Sandor's choice. I took many liberties just calling you here today. I will not betray his trust further. That's really all you have to say? Yes, I see. Since this is going nowhere, I'll take my leave for today. But Vincent, is not betraying his trust really more important than his life? While it's true that there is no guarantee that I can save him, you two are certainly putting me at a disadvantage. Think about it, please. Borges turns and heads for the door. He slams it a bit harder than normal on his way out. That could have gone better. Vincent sighs and then heads for the hallway where I am. I don't have time to do anything about it before he sees me. Ah, Marcel. Marcel. His face turns a little red. I guess I would be a little embarrassed, too, in this situation. Vincent didn't exactly come out of that conversation looking good. It seems you are quite talented at catching me at my worst. If I've really been seeing your worst, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Seriously, I've done a lot worse on some of my good days. That... It's hard to tell, but I think his face just got a bit redder. Thank you. I don't exactly have a response prepared, so we both end up going quiet for a few seconds. I return us to the original subject before things got too awkward. Anyway, I'm sorry, I eavesdropped on your conversation. I imagine we didn't make it hard to do. Well, no, you didn't. Still, it wasn't right, so I apologize. It's fine. Another awkward silence passes between us. This time, Vincent is the one to break it. I should let you get back to work. Right. I move past Vincent and start towards the stairs. Before I get to them, however, Vincent speaks up again. Marcel, before you do that, can I ask you a favor? A favor? Yes. What did you need? I'm not making any promises yet, but I'll hear you out. Well, I've been thinking about what you said. What I said, huh? I don't really remember what that could be. I mean, I don't recall telling Vincent anything particularly deep. You said that if I needed help, I should just ask for it. Okay, I do remember that. I did? Well, I was wondering. It's okay to say no, but I thought I'd... He trails off and starts fidgeting as he tries to think over how he wants to phrase it. I let out a small sigh. Is it really that hard to ask for something? Knowing Vincent probably isn't anything big either. I can't help if I don't know what you need help with, Vincent. Right, of course not. He takes a deep breath and then stares at me with a set of determined eyes. I was wondering if you'd teach me how to make the soup you'd made for Lord Sandor. That is so cute! You want me to teach you how to make potato soup? Well, yes. After what happened, well, I want to be able to handle the situation on my own should something like that ever occur again. So I wanted to learn how to cook some things that Lord Sandor would like to eat. Isn't that kind of pointless, though? I bit my lip, realizing I'd spoken that thought out loud automatically. What do you mean? Well, I guess I started it, so I might as well finish it. I don't want to waste time coming up with an alternate explanation for my outburst anyway. How many times do you expect something like that to happen? I suppose I don't expect it to happen again. Exactly, everything had to go wrong for that situation to happen in the first place. It probably won't happen again anytime soon. Lord Sandor will probably be dead before that bit of information actually becomes useful. Oh wow, that's a little cold, Marcel. That sounded a bit harsher out loud than it did in my head. I ended up staring at the floor as I explained my point further. I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of a waste of your time. I do realize it is a possibility, He bites his lip, a worried expression very visible on his face. It doesn't look like he's fully accepted the situation. I guess I can't blame him, though. Without a named heir, it's impossible to know what will happen to his job when Lord Sandor does die. He has to be nervous about at least that much. And that's just assuming he only cares about his situation. It's hard to tell with Vincent, but if he actually likes Lord Sandor on a personal level, his death would do even more damage than that. I don't think that's a good enough excuse not to learn. Once more, he looks at me with a surprisingly determined expression on his face. So please, teach me how to make it anyway. I sigh. I can't say no when he asks so earnestly. Besides, I'm the one who told him that if he wants help, he should just ask. I suppose I need to take some responsibility for that. It's still, you should give us the choice, though, game. You should let us choose anyway, instead of just assuming that Marcel would do it. I feel like this game could have had a few more choices in it. Alright, I still don't see why it's such a big deal to you, but I will teach you how to make it. Thank you. Oh, but I'd better make it clear. We'd be doing this on our time off. I guess I should have been expecting that. There is no way Vincent could use the time he was being paid for to do things for himself. If that changes your answer, I would understand. No, it's fine. Actually, if I can pose a bit more, I'd like to request that we pick a time when we won't be seen. I'd rather not let others know that I am not exactly competent in cooking. He's making a big deal out of nothing again. There aren't a lot of times like that. I know. I was hoping you'd be willing to get up early so we could use the kitchen before anyone else was up. We already get up early as it is. Getting up earlier isn't something I want to do. Still, it's probably just this once. Vincent picks things up quickly. He probably already has a lot of it down from the first time anyway. I guess I can still do it. Thank you. I know I'm asking for something unreasonable. It's not unreasonable, so don't feel bad about asking. Sure, some of the conditions are a little inconvenient, but it's not like he's asking me to risk my life or anything. Anyway, let me know when you want to do it. Most days should work for me. In the meantime, I'd better get these sheets up to the guest rooms. Of course, sorry for holding you up. I get one step up the stairs when Vincent interrupts. Actually, why don't I help? I wasted your time, so it's only fair that I make up for it. He's so thoughtful, though. Vincent's very thoughtful. That's not necessary. I insist. I really don't need the help. Vincent's time would be better spent elsewhere. Still, it sounds like he's not going to take no for an answer. Should I just let him help? He really should just... No, I mean, I don't need his help. He really should just... Oh, he wants to help. Fine, let him help. I guess it wouldn't hurt just to let him help. In any case, it's a lot easier to accept his offer than it is to reject it. He gets so stubborn over the stupidest things. Alright, you can help. And our relationship goes up. Vincent smiles slightly and then catches up to where I'm at. I go ahead and hand over half the sheets in my pile in an attempt to keep him from offering to carry them all himself. From there, we head up the stairs together. Do you want to split up the rooms, or do you want to work on each of them together? Either way is fine. I guess that leaves the decision on to me then. Personally, I feel it'd be faster to split the rooms between us and work on them separately. On the other hand, work is bound to be funner with someone to talk to. Why not? I can use this opportunity to get to know Vincent more. I shouldn't be obsessing about doing the task quickly. Let's stick together then. I'd rather work with you than by myself. Okay. Huh? What's with the stutter? When I glanced Vincent's way, I noticed he's blushing a bit. Did my words make him a little happy? If that's the case, it's kind of cute. Okay. Tidiness. Etiquette. Attend to guests. Awareness. Reputation's going up. Clean those rooms. I'm supposed to be making sure the books are still in alphabetical order, but I find myself occasionally pulling out the ones with particularly interesting titles and flipping through them before returning them to their proper places. I wish I had more free time that I could dedicate to reading all of them. I rest my finger on the spine of a book with a dark green cover and think, if I do manage to impress Lord Sander, then maybe one day I would have that time. He'd have to die first, though. The thought sobers me. That's not what I want. I leave the book alone and get back to work. A few minutes later, Vincent comes in. I know the drill by now, so I head him off. Did you need me somewhere else? Yes, that's right. I just finished speaking with Lord Sandor. He requested that you be the one to take him his meal today. I bite my lip, wanting to refuse. Of course, I can't really do that. If Lord Sandor says he wants me to do something as his servant, I'm not exactly in a position to do otherwise. I'm about to ask Vincent if Vincent knows why when I remember him talking to Vincent. He wouldn't have asked, and even if he did, he probably wouldn't answer unless Lord Sandor gave him an express permission to do so. Anyway, I think I do know why he wants to see me. My actions during that dinner with Lord Chiron haven't exactly been acknowledged yet. I would prefer they were never acknowledged, but that's not the way the world works. All right. There's really no other answer I can give. Is it ready now, or are you telling me this for later? Well, the short answer is no, it's not. The cook should be able to prepare something fairly quickly, though. You just need to talk to him when you're ready. Lord Sander didn't set a specific time for his dinner, but I think the sooner you see him, the better. Okay, I'll see the cook now, then. Vincent nods and heads off to his next task. I head to the kitchen. I talk to the cook and wait around for a bit as he works on putting Lord Sander's meal together. Today's dish is another soup, which makes more sense now that I know he's sick. It might be hard for him to get down much else. Of course, the cook had prepared some more elaborate dishes when Lord Sander was dining with Lord Chiron. I guess that was more for Lord Chiron's sake, though. He's been staying with us here at the mansion, but they haven't eaten together since. Now that Lord Sander's secret is out, I suppose he doesn't need to make the effort to pretend that everything is alright, that he's not dying. I let out a sigh and lean against the wall. I really don't want to see him right now. Some time has passed since I learned that fact, but I still don't know how I feel about it. On one hand, I do feel a bit sorry for him. On the other hand, well, I hate him. He doesn't care about my mother, and he doesn't care about me, so why should I care if he's dying? Just have to stop thinking about him. If I keep telling myself I don't care, I'll eventually believe it. At least I hope so. The cook finishes up and scoops some of the soup into a bowl before placing it on a tray and handing it to me. I guess that's all the time I have to sulk. That's probably a good thing. I take the tray from him and head upstairs towards Lord Sander's room. I knock on the door and he answers. Come in. His voice is hoarse, as if he just finished one of his coughing fits. I'm kind of glad I wasn't there to witness it this time. It's one thing to know it's happening, but to actually be there during it is another thing entirely.